Hello again, I'm Warren Alney, and this is Which Way LA, KCRW's ongoing series on the issues Southern Californians care about. After 3 years of increasingly passionate argument, the beloved Hollywood Farmers Market has worked out a deal with the LA Film School. First, a follow-up on our program on Monday about the Hollywood Farmers Market. That's a 19-year-old institution beloved by celebrities and natural foodies alike. Between Sunset and Hollywood Boulevards, it adjoins property owned by the LA Film School, which has complained for years that the market interferes with parking for classes on Sunday. The market lies in the City Council district of Eric Garcetti, and today he conducted shuttle diplomacy. Good to have you on our program, Councilman.
Great to be with you, Warren.
When we talked on Monday, the solutions ranged from moving the market completely to knocking a hole in a parking lot wall at the LA Film School. Were you able to resolve this dispute?
We had a great meeting, and I think we have taken steps that are very close to resolving this entire issue. The people's access to fruit and vegetables on Ivar Street in Hollywood is alive and well, and the farmers market is not going to leave Hollywood. It is not going to shut down, and none of the other farmers markets run by the organization Sustainable Economic Enterprises of Los Angeles in other neighborhoods are going to be shut down either. So that's very good news. Both sides recognize a need to work out a very solvable problem and protect the farmers market in Hollywood, and it was music to my ears. I was happy to play a role to bring those sides together, and we're just going to work on some of the final language in the next 24 hours.
Well, is the LA Film School going to have to knock a hole in the wall?
That's one of the things we're going to look at. We're going to see, is that the best use of taxpayer money or private money to, it's less than a hole in a wall. It's actually two structures that don't quite touch on two different levels. So building a cement ramp could be quite expensive, but I want to exhaust that, and if that's possible, let's get it done and keep the same footprint. If not, let's keep the market where it is for the most part, and then maybe shift a half of a block or a block of it to another abutting street. Take this as an opportunity to even expand the market, which is bursting at the seams. It's so popular, but to make sure it doesn't leave Hollywood because it's been such a critical part of its comeback.
There's conceivably taxpayer money involved?
Well, we have taxpayer money that subsidizes our farmers markets every weekend with the street closures, and we provide community development block grant monies from the federal government, and we've done things like build the parking structure next to it. I just offered that, here's an employer that's employing people locally, a farmers market that employs people and produces amazing, healthy food for everybody, that we'll look at how much it would cost to do something like that. I'd prefer, obviously, if that's a solution, that the business itself do it, but we're willing to play a role and see if we might be able to help them. This
has been an extraordinarily passionate dispute. There have been death threats on at least one side.
Yes, that's why it was so important for me to get personally involved from this. My office has been involved for many months, but I wanted to personally meet with both sides and say, what can we do to dial down the rhetoric, the legal approaches, and to really ramp up the neighborhood solutions, because we all love what Hollywood has turned into, a place where on the weekend you can see your neighbor, get good produce and food, see students that are there. With 20,000 students, Warren, that now live and go to school in the Hollywood area, and that helps keep it safe, helps sustain businesses. And so I really was confident there was a win-win. There are plenty of peace processes that are much more complicated than this one, and I was really pleased to see folks acting like Angelinos today instead of enemies.
How important to the revival of Hollywood is the LA Film School?
It's been an important part of it. I think Hollywood for a long time left Hollywood. And what do I mean by that? The entertainment industry wasn't there in the heart of what made that neighborhood so famous. So whether it's the film school coming back or studio space being built back there, Jimmy Kimmel coming to Hollywood Boulevard, I've tried to make it a place where the most creative people in the world feel welcome to study and to produce things. And, for me, that's why it's so critical, especially in an economic downturn, to make sure that those farmers and vendors at the market can continue to have livelihood, but that also folks who are going to contribute to one of our key industries can also get that training, and the teachers who teach them have those jobs. Okay, so it appears that the market has been saved. Eric Garcetti, city councilman in Hollywood, not telling us exactly what the terms are as yet. Councilman, if you can, stay with us for a moment. I want to introduce Evan Kleiman, who is a chef and owner of Angeli Cafe. She's host of KCRW's Good Food, and she's also a member of the Los Angeles Food Policy Task Force. Evan, good to have you on our show.
Thank you, Warren.
How important is this, do you think, to you and others involved with the LA Food Policy Task Force?
Well, I think it's massively important that healthy, thriving farmers markets feel secure and they know that they're going to get to stay where they're going to be for a good long time. You know, people sometimes say, oh, we'll just move a couple stands, move a couple tables, but I don't think they realize the huge amount of infrastructure involved in creating a market and making sure that it's safe and accessible to all who want to come and buy.
What do you know about the details of the agreement that apparently has been worked out?
Well, I think that what happened today was a good faith acknowledgement that both sides want the same thing and that steps are going to be taken within a reasonable time frame to come to some kind of accommodation so that both sides can continue to thrive and serve their different customer bases.
Steps are going to be taken. You sound like a politician. In fact, you sound like the politician that's on the other end of the line here.
Well, but, you know, this is the kind of thing where you're talking about streets. And so anytime you're talking about streets, there are so many different solutions. My understanding is that Councilman Garcetti's offices have received suggestions from sort of Los Angelinos acting as independent consultants on their own. So I think so many possibilities that can happen to accommodate the market, which is experiencing growing pains. You know, that there really is nothing to report today, except for the fact that an agreement that everyone wants to go in the same direction.
So, Eric Garcetti, back to you. Everybody's tiptoeing around the details. I assume that's because this has been going on for so long, and it has been so contentious that there's concern that if the wrong detail leaks, everything might fall apart.
It's not that delicate, actually. I just wanted to respect the confidentiality of going to both parties and talking to them privately. I can say that they do want the same thing, and I can give you more details in that I think we will see tomorrow, but I want to give people the time to write these words down themselves and send it to each other, that there's a promise from the city that the farmers market will stay in Hollywood, that it will be centered around Selma and Ivar, where it is, unless the farmers market at a future date sees its expansion moving it to a different place, but they won't be forced to. But that this business will also get promised to have access to all of its parking for its expansion and its jobs and education that it provides. When both sides recognize that, I think that allows us as the city then to say, okay, what do we have to do? Either there will be some way of making these two parking lots become one, or part of the current footprint will be slightly altered, but not moved away. To be able to accommodate just as many farmers, just as many great places to get food, and perhaps this is a great opportunity for us to expand that footprint. You know, I'd love a better place to sit down and eat some of the great food that I get there on Sundays. I'd like to see us, you know, do more education classes and opportunities for health and some of the other things we do at the Farmers Kitchen during the week, which is the permanent part that I helped build with the Farmers Market there in Hollywood. So it's really an opportunity. While it might have been a lot of shouting, channeling that energy into something that expands our healthy food access and jobs in Hollywood is ultimately what I think we're going to see come out of this.
Well, City Councilman Eric Garcetti, thanks a lot for being on our program.
My pleasure.
Evan Kleiman, thanks to you as well. I gather that 8,000 to 10,000 people now are still going to be able to go to the farmers market on Sundays.
Oh, yeah, and isn't that wonderful?
Thanks again to you.
Thank you, Warren.
I'll be